Hi, I'm Allison Field. As a former news reporter, I covered way too many tragic fire stories, and so many of those stories could have been avoided with one of these, a smoke detector. So today I'm changing the batteries in all the smoke detectors in my house to make sure that they're going to work in case there's ever a fire. Smoke from fires spread very fast, and if smoke from a fire set off this alarm, my family knows that we have to get out quickly and call 911 from outside. Smoke and the poisonous gases in the smoke are very dangerous. Most often, people are hurt by the smoke and the poisonous gases, not the flames. Do you know that if there is a fire, getting down low and moving out quickly under the smoke could save your life? My father, Dr. Frank Field, and my brother, Storm Field, who are also news reporters, went to a special firefighting training center, and they learned that lesson. And they want you to know about the dangers of smoke and gas.
Hi, I'm Frank Field, and this is my son, Storm.
Last time we showed you how fires are black and taught you how to be prepared and to stay calm. Now we'd like to tell you about smoke. This is artificial smoke.
This fake smoke isn't dangerous. It's made by a fog and smoke machine. It's the same smoke you see in the movies or on TV. So many kids and grown-ups are fooled into thinking that smoke is really not harmful. But smoke in a real fire is dangerous. The kind of smoke you see pouring out of these windows, this is real smoke. It's full of dirt and poisonous gas and can make people sick.
Now, we've all smelled smoke coming from a fire. Perhaps it's a bonfire on the outside, or from food on a stove, or even cigarette smoke. That doesn't seem dangerous, does it? But it can be. It all depends on what's burning and how much smoke there is.
When there is a bonfire outdoors controlled by grown-ups, smoke, gases, and heat drift up into the air. Outdoors, smoke disappears into the air because there's so much open space.
But what happens to smoke when a fire starts inside a building? Let's use this dollhouse to show you what can happen inside any building when there is a fire. The fire starts in the corner of a room downstairs. It's only a small flame, but grows rapidly. Smoke from the fire has not yet spread to other rooms in the house. If the room where the fire started had a smoke detector, it would have sounded an early warning alarm. It only takes seconds for a fire to go out of control. Now, only trained firefighters can put this fire out. Hot smoke and gases rise to the ceiling. There's still air to breathe down by the floor. Getting low would help you escape. Smoke is now drifting into other rooms. Smoke and hot air rise to the ceiling. Down low, under the smoke, the air is still cool. In the burning room, the fire grows fast. Now the smoke is entering rooms where the doors were left open. The air in those rooms, down by the floor, is still breathable. The door in this room is closed, and it's helping keep the fire and smoke out, for now. The room where the fire began is ablaze and turning black. It's only taken minutes, and the smoke traveling through the walls and hallways is filling all the rooms. Remembering to get low and go, and not panic, everyone who lives in this house is outside and safe. And now, when the firefighters arrive to find smoke coming out of the windows and all openings, they don't have to risk their lives entering the burning building to search for anyone who might be trapped inside. It's taken minutes, and the entire building is filled with black smoke, intense heat, and poisonous gases. And if you breathe the smoke from that kind of fire, it will make you ill. Even firefighters who breathe this smoke get sick.
But when firefighters do enter buildings to rescue people and fight a fire, they always wear face masks to protect themselves against the smoke. In addition, they carry tanks of fresh air on their backs and breathe that fresh air through a mask. It's a dangerous job. Firefighters must risk their lives every day. Firefighters know that children and older people are the ones who are most often injured in a fire because children and seniors are not as strong and as quick as grown-ups. Firefighters also know that smoke can be the greatest danger in a fire.
Smoke kills more people than the actual fire. Most people die from smoke rather than from fire.
90% of the people we run into look like they're asleep, except their faces are dirty from the soot because they've died from the gases. They're not touched by the flame.
So avoid breathing too much dangerous smoke. Don't stand up with your head in the hot smoke. Get down low and go. Down on the floor, the air is cooler and cleaner. That's what one 12-year-old boy did in this fast-moving fire. When smoke and flames filled his bedroom, Anthony did the right thing and saved his sister and himself.
Got on my knees and I crawled in my mom's room and I told my sister to get low. I was scared and then he said, "Do you want to die?"
Anthony and his sister escaped the fire because Anthony stayed cool and knew the rule. Get low and go.
But often children panic, don't know what to do, or do the wrong thing. Sometimes they try to hide from the fire or waste time looking for things and wait too long to get out. Sometimes it's because they never had a fire drill at home. They become confused, don't know how to deal with this emergency. They breathe too much smoke as this boy did and become unconscious. He was saved by firefighters. It wasn't the fire that hurt him, it was the smoke.
You may only see fire briefly. It's the smoke that is the killer.
And it was smoke that killed a mother and her 8-year-old son while they slept. There were no smoke detectors in the house to wake them and warn them of the fire. Firefighters and emergency workers tried in vain to save them. Why is smoke so dangerous?
You know, when you're enjoying the outdoors and take deep breaths, you're inhaling fresh air with lots of healthy oxygen. That word inhaling is important. It means breathing in air. Sometimes you inhale smoke from food cooking on a barbecue, or you inhale wood smoke from a fireplace. Or if there's someone smoking and you inhale smoke that's not pleasant at all. Sometimes smoke can have a nasty, bitter odor from burning trash. To most kids, smoke does not seem harmful except for maybe the smells, but they are wrong.
Sometimes it's the things that are burning that make the smoke poisonous.
Just look at what's left after a fire. Everything burned, blackened, charred. The intense heat of a fire, as hot as 1,000 degrees, burns plastics, wood, melts glass and metal. And whenever this happens, the air becomes filled with many kinds of poisonous gases carried in the smoke.
No matter what burns, there is one thing in all fires that can make you sick or even kill you.
It's a gas called carbon monoxide. You can't see it. You can't smell it. Everything that burns sends carbon monoxide into the air. Cars and trucks burn gasoline, and carbon monoxide comes out of the tailpipes. Even fires on stoves give off carbon monoxide into the air. It's everywhere. Luckily, most of it disappears into the air and doesn't harm us, because normally there is so little carbon monoxide in the air we breathe.
But in a fire, there is so much carbon monoxide in the smoke, it can harm us. When you inhale fresh air, your lungs are filled with healthy oxygen that travels to all parts of your body. Your brain needs that oxygen to remain alert and healthy. But in a fire, there is so much carbon monoxide in smoke that inhaling the smoke full of carbon monoxide will block the healthy oxygen from getting to your lungs and to your brain. Without oxygen, the brain goes to sleep. People inhaling smoke full of carbon monoxide don't realize that they're falling into a deep, deep sleep. With no oxygen, the brain stops working. That's why a smoke detector is so important to warn you of this dangerous smoke, full of carbon monoxide and other dangerous gases.
Smoke detectors is your primary defense in a fire.
Smoke detectors are the first line of defense. Having a working smoke alarm will cut your chances of dying or getting hurt in a home fire in half. So having an operating smoke alarm that you test on a monthly basis is so important.
A killer fire in Brooklyn is under investigation tonight. 4 people died.
They died of smoke inhalation. Those are the words we hear in news reports about fires.
The reason that you have deaths is from smoke inhalation. Smoke is the thing that kills most people in fires.
Right now we're told that the 2 children probably died of smoke inhalation.
What caused a mobile home fire that killed 3 children this morning. The fire started in the early hours of the morning. 3 managed to escape, but 3 children died from smoke inhalation.
Sometimes firefighters rescue children after they have been overcome by smoke inhalation. In this house, everyone was asleep. No smoke detectors to warn there's a fire. The firefighter who rushed into the burning building found this boy in his upstairs bedroom overcome by carbon monoxide in the smoke. Carried outside, he received first aid and began to breathe normally. He was taken to a nearby hospital. His life was saved.
This girl was also lucky. She was saved and given oxygen to help her breathe, but it was too late for her brothers.
My little brother Donovan and my little brother William, who was going to turn 1 in February, he was found dead in my mom's bed.
Smoke in a fire is always dangerous, even a little smoke. People who escape a fire often become ill from inhaling smoke. They may need first aid, and that's why fire victims are given oxygen after they have inhaled smoke.
There are many reasons to stay low and go and avoid putting your head into the smoke.
The smoke burns your eyes so bad that you can't open your eyes to see where you're going.
When you get smoke in your eyes, it burns and itches, your eyes will tear, and you can't open them because it feels like there's dirt.
It burns. It hurts a lot.
Smoke turns a brightly lit room into a totally black room. Getting low will help you see.
The conditions that firefighters go into that burning house are dangerous for us, even with our equipment. It's dark. It's hot. We have to go to work as firefighters crawling on the floor. That's the only safe environment for us. So just think of you in a house or an apartment. It could be even worse if you're there and stuck in harm's way.
Another reason to get low and go is the heat. In a fire, smoke gets so hot, it's hotter than boiling water. So now you know why firefighters are taught to stay low and crawl under the smoke. And why children are also taught to crawl, because down low, it's cooler and easier to breathe.
Remember, most of us think that smoke is just a bother, which makes us choke or cough a little. We think it can't hurt us. Well, now you know that's not true. In a real fire, smoke is the greatest danger of all.
Not only does smoke in a fire turn everything black, but the fire and smoke uses up all the oxygen in the air you need to breathe. So you must get low and go, fast. Smoke can put people into such a deep sleep they can't wake up, and that's what happened to 4 young girls. Inside this home, a family was sound asleep. Father, mother, and 5 children. There were no smoke detectors to warn them their house was on fire. A passing motorist saw the flames and called 911.
One police fire. Yes, there's a fire, a big fire across the street from Oviedo High School. All right, sir, we're on the way.
Overhead, a news helicopter, taking pictures of firefighters trying to force their way into the home to rescue the 4 trapped children. When firefighters finally managed to enter the burning building, they found 4 little girls, ranging in age from 2 years to 10 years. The 4 children had been overcome by the smoke while they slept.
Unfortunately, every victim, all 4 female children, passed away in the fire from smoke inhalation.
The grown-ups, the mother and father, escaped alive, and so did this 5-year-old boy who tried to wake up his sisters, but he couldn't.
I thought that the house was on fire.
He said he tried to wake his little sisters up, but he couldn't get them up, and he ran out the house.
There were no smoke detectors in the house to warn the family and children of the fire.
Every home should have smoke detectors, and you should test them regularly to make sure they work. If your smoke detectors use batteries, the batteries should also be checked at least twice a year.
This smoke detector didn't go off. The battery was rusted. This smoke detector didn't have a battery, and a boy and girl were hurt. This house had no smoke detectors, and a grandmother and her grandchildren died. This mother cries for her children who were trapped in a fire.
We detected no smoke detectors.
Smoke detectors are very important. They give your family early warning there's a fire, because when people sleep, their noses go to sleep too, and they can't smell the smoke and the gases.
In a fire situation, it's the smoke is the #1 killer. So that's the reason why they need to get low and go.
You should have one directly adjacent to sleeping areas.
In hallways would be a good place for them.
Also, we'll make sure that there's one on each level of the house.
Most people in America have a smoke detector. Most of them probably don't know if the battery is active in it or not. They don't do tests. But in that one instance when you need that smoke detector, if you haven't properly maintained it just as you would your car or yourself, if you don't properly maintain it, check the battery, make sure it's working. When you need it, it's not going to be there for you.
It's good to check your smoke detectors once a month. But when you want to change the battery, we suggest that you change your battery in the fall when time changes and in the spring when time changes.
Smoke turns everything black. If you stand up, you won't be able to see. Get low.
Smoke keeps you from being able to see things. It blurs your vision, and it also makes your eyes burn.
Smoke gets super hot. Down low, it's cooler.
With less than 5 minutes, you can get about 1,800 degrees inside the house. At that point, everything will catch on fire.
A long time ago, I used to put little figurines in the side of my helmet just to see how hot it would be to gauge it. And many times when I would come out, the little figurine would be melted.
Smoke travels fast. Closing doors will keep the smoke back.
Smoke travels extremely fast in the fire. It's pushed by the heat of the fire. It will leave one room and jump into the next room in a matter of seconds.
Firefighters have learned what it's like to inhale smoke.
You start to choke and gag. Most people panic, so they breathe in more. That's why if you're ever in a fire, get down low.
If there's a lot of smoke, stay low. That is where your air supply is.
There were 23 people living in this burning building. They all got out without being hurt because they remained calm and knew exactly what to do. This 92-year-old grandma and her daughter were saved by a firefighter.
The older woman was on the floor. I found out later that her daughter had put her on the floor because she heard that the air might be better down there. And they also had the door between the living room and the rest of the apartment closed.
I immediately got her on the floor. She kept saying, I'll never be able to get up if I get down on the floor. I said, get down on the floor, because I knew she had to keep breathing relatively clean air.
There were 3 reasons everyone got out alive.
They had smoke detectors, which gave some of the people early warning. The second thing is when they did discover the fire and the smoke entered their rooms, they stayed low, they crawled to the door, they stayed below the heat and smoke, which was banking down below the ceiling. And the third thing is they followed the directions of the fire department.
So when there is a fire, smoke is dangerous. Do as firefighters do. Get low. Avoid the smoke and heat.
You always want to get down low because that's where the coolest air and the freshest air is going to be.
Have an escape plan and fire drills at home. Know what to do immediately. If there's a great deal of smoke, crawl, just like these children are learning to do. And remember,
that escape plan is so important to be practiced, because mom, dad, and children, kids, all know this is how we're going to get out of our house, that this is where we're going to meet, so that when we get there and I step off the truck, the first thing mom and dad can tell me is, everyone's out okay, I've got everybody here with me, so now I can go and do the second part of my job, and that is to put the fire out.
Even though we wear protective equipment and we're trained what to do in a fire, all of our gear can't protect us from the super hot air that a fire causes. Even we stay low. So please, stay low.
Stay calm, stay low, have an escape plan, and get out quickly.
Yeah, we've had situations where people want to go back in and get personal belongings. I mean, I guess they take for granted that they can get burned, the poisonous gases that's still in the homes, even after the fires are out. So a lot of times they're just unaware of the fact that there are still gases in there that could kill them.
But the biggest misconception that children have about fire is that they look for the red hot fire. And the thing that they need to be concerned about is also the smoke that can be very dangerous.
In most instances, it's the smoke and the products that are in that smoke that are going to kill you.
most people are afraid of fire, but they don't realize that it's the smoke and poisonous gases that pose the greatest danger. So if there is a fire, stay low, below the heat, the smoke, and the gases. Remember, smoke turns a room black. But if you get low, you'll be able to see better, to get out quickly. And don't forget to close the doors behind you so the smoke and fire won't spread. And please, check smoke detector batteries at least twice a year. Pick a certain holiday or a birthday or the first of the year as a reminder to make sure that you have a first line of defense against fire. I'm Allison Field. On behalf of my father, Dr. Frank Field, and my brother, Storm Field, thanks for watching.